This has to be one of the best curries I've done. We're making chicken rendang, high protein, easy to eat, stores and reheats incredibly well, and traditionally it's made with beef, and I've made a couple of adjustments just to make it suitable for meal prep, but this version is absolutely spot on. Now the first thing we want to do for this recipe is prepare all of our ingredients for our marinade. So what I have here is 2 brown or yellow onions. We'll just take off both ends, slice it in half and then peel them. And you can use shallots for a more authentic recipe, but we're going to be using brown onions to save a little bit of money. With the onions, all we need to do is just roughly chop, doesn't have to be perfect, into those nice little small to medium sized pieces. And it's the same process if you're using shallots too. Take off the ends of 2 long red chilies. These aren't that spicy and you can use more hotter chilies if you prefer. And again, we're just going to go through and roughly chop. Nothing needs to be perfect right now. Next is 1 stalk of lemongrass. Now I'm obviously using fresh, so we're going to need to chop this up because it doesn't break down very easily, but you can buy store-bought pasted stuff already. It's not as good, but it will do for this recipe if you wanted to save a little bit of money or if you can't get hold of this. As for this, we do want to break it down to bruise it up and increase that flavor. So we're just going to smash this. I'm using a meat mallet for this. You can just use the back of a knife or even a saucepan, but just break this up as much as you can. With a sharp knife, I'm just going to remove that end piece because it's really woody and we can discard. And then all we have to do is go through and chop this up. Like I said, this doesn't break down very easily, so go through and chop it up as small as you can. What you're looking for is something that looks like this. For even more fragrance, we're going to need 4 cloves of freshly peeled garlic and 15 grams or about 1 tablespoon of ginger. With the ginger, just going to chop this up and just cut it into small pieces to make it easier to work with. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing with that garlic. Go through and give it another rough chop. Both of them together is completely fine. It's all going in together. And again, it doesn't need to be perfect. Just want something that looks like this. So with all of those aromatics, we'll get all of these into a blender bowl. And if you don't have a blender, you can do this in a mortar and pestle. And if you don't have a mortar and pestle, you will just have to go quite hard with a knife to turn it into a paste. And I do recommend adding in a small splash of water, adding in about 2 tablespoons. Get the lid on, and then we're going to turn this onto a high speed and blend this until it turns into a nice fine paste. All right, so once that's done, just remove it from there. Keep it in the blender bowl to save dishes. I'm just gonna transfer it over so you guys can see what we're working with. And what we have is a nice paste. This is beautiful, it smells incredibly fragrant, and it's ready to be cooked. So for cooking, we're gonna get a large pan or pot onto our stovetop, place this over a medium-high heat and just let it come up to temperature. Add in about a teaspoon of neutral oil. Add in all of our paste. Make sure you scrape the blender or bowl, whatever you've used. Spread this out evenly, and we're going to cook this for about 5 to 6 minutes. It's going to bring out all of those delicious and beautiful fragrances, and we also want to cook out a little bit of that water. Traditionally, a rendang is a dry curry, but I'm going to be making it a touch more saucy just so we have that sauce when we're reheating, especially for meal prep. Once you start seeing a few bubbles appear, we can turn this down to a medium heat. Like I said, cook this for about 5 to 6 minutes until it darkens a little bit. Most of that water has evaporated, and you have that beautiful smell. While the paste is cooking away, we're going to prepare our chicken. I've got 1 kilo or 2.2 pounds of boneless and skinless chicken thigh. Just going to slice it in half lengthways, rotate, and then dice into bite-sized pieces. For a curry, it is always good to have the larger pieces. You can even leave them whole. And traditionally, this is done with legs, wings, thighs, drums, whatever you want to use. But because it's meal prep, I'm going to be using the chicken thigh. That way it's easier to eat. For one optional ingredient, I'm just going to be using 1 stalk of spring onion or scallion, and I'm going to be using this as a garnish, so I'm going to thinly slice it. You don't have to use it at all if you don't want to, and you can even use a little bit of coriander to finish this off too. Like I always say, don't go out and buy a whole bunch of spring onions just to use one. Only use them if you have them. Now coming back to our paste, this has been cooking for about 5 minutes, mixing it around regularly. It's darkened slightly, it's really nice and fragrant, and you can see that it's a lot drier. There's no more bubbles coming out of it. It's sizzling a lot more. At this stage, we'll add in all of our chicken. Increase the heat to a medium-high. Mix the chicken around. Make sure everything is coated in all of that paste. And we're going to cook this for about 4 to 5 minutes, just to get a bit of color on the chicken. We're obviously not looking to cook it all the way through right now. Some curries require the chicken to be cooked beforehand or even separately and then added to it at the end. You can do that if you want to, but for this recipe, we want all of those flavors to combine, all of them to develop together. That's why we're adding the chicken in raw. So this has been 5 minutes. We're starting to see a bit of color on the chicken. We're getting a little bit of that flavor developing on the bottom of the pan, exactly where we want it to be. Add in 1 can or 400 milliliters of coconut milk. Just using a little bit of water to swirl that around just so we have no wastage. Add in 1 small cinnamon stick, 3 green cardamom pods and 3 cloves. Add in 1 teaspoon each of ground coriander and ground cumin, half a teaspoon of ground turmeric, and 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, which is optional, but just adds a beautiful sweetness. At this point, I'm going to add in a nice amount of salt, cracked black pepper, about 10 cracks worth, Mix this all together, just make sure everything is evenly combined in that beautiful sauce. Break up any of that paste that may be stuck to the chicken. Once everything's evenly combined, you'll have this beautiful, rich golden sauce. It smells absolutely fantastic as well. Just allow this to simmer away for about 20 to 25 minutes, or until it's nice and thick and of course that chicken is cooked through. If you like it extra saucy, you can add a bit of stock here or even a little bit of water, or you can do it right at the end just to finally adjust it. In the meantime, we'll get 300 grams or roughly 1.5 cups of washed jasmine rice into a saucepan, 550 milliliters or 550 grams of cold water or cold stock. For extra fragrance, I'm going to be using lime leaves and I'm going to add 3 of them in there. And then in this bowl, I've got 1 cinnamon stick, 3 green cardamom pods and 3 cloves. Place this over a high heat. I like to season my rice with a touch of salt. Of course, you don't have to. And then we're going to bring this up to a boil. Once the water's boiling, place on a lid, reduce the heat to low, and then we're going to cook this for 12 minutes undisturbed. After the 12 minutes, turn it off the heat and let it sit with the lid on for 5 more minutes. One last step to do, which is actually optional, but for a more traditional flavor, we're going to add 20 grams or 1/4 cup of shredded coconut or desiccated coconut to a pan. Place this over a medium heat. Mix it around. We're going to toast this for about 2 to 3 minutes until it's nice and golden. It just adds that really nice, rich, nutty flavor to our end product. If you don't want to toast it, you can add it in just as it is, but it won't be as good. And you don't have to add it at all if you don't have it. I do recommend mixing this around quite regularly just so nothing burns. All we're looking for is that nice golden color. Once it's achieved that, we can then remove it from the stovetop and place it into a bowl just so it no longer continues to brown. Now coming back to our rice, this has been resting for 5 minutes. We can then remove that lid. Everything would have risen to the top, so we can remove all of those aromatics and then fluff it up with a fork or a spatula. Just separate all of those grains. It's soft, it's fluffy, smells beautiful, should have a nice soft and fluffy rice like so, which we can just pop aside until we're ready to serve. Now come back to the curry. This has been cooking away for about 20 minutes. The sauce is nice and rich, it's golden, it smells incredible as well. At this point, we can add in our toasted coconut if you're using it. Mix all of that through, just allow all of those flavors to become friends. You can double check it for seasoning at this point as well if you need to adjust with anything. And like I said, I'm making this a touch more runny just so we have sauce that goes with the rice and nothing's dry when we go to reheat it. But a traditional rendang is a dry curry and it's usually made with beef too. Once that's all mixed through, just allow this to cook out for a further 2 to 3 minutes. Now with the rice, we're going to place it off to one side into our containers, or you can place it as a bed. The choice is all yours. And the container sizes I'm using are 750 milliliters, and we're going to get 5 portions out of this. Once the rice is in, evenly distribute the chicken between the 5 containers. You can weigh this or just do it by eye, and you will have a bit of sauce left over. Like I said, this is a dry curry, so it's not completely saucy, but make sure you add anything that's left in the pan over the 5 containers. When you have them portioned out, let them cool down for about 15 to 20 minutes like usual, and we can place on the lids. These will last 4 days in the fridge and 4 months in the freezer. Your best bet for reheating is going to be a microwave. These containers are able to be vacuum sealed as well, and I have a link for them in the description. Just going to get an extra day or 2 out of them. So with everything said and done, we can then dig in. The chicken's tender, that sauce is rich, exactly the right consistency we want it. We don't want it any drier than what it is right now, but there's so many fragrances going on, different flavors that meld together, and it's absolutely beautiful combination. And then that fragrant rice as well, just absolutely spot on. Definitely do try this recipe, and thanks for watching.